Eagles, Cowboys, Vikings, Seahawks, and Bears hosting the LA Rams. And that's where we begin with the
Lead Block.
So it's McVay having to travel to my hometown, Chicago, playing at Soldier Field in the elements on Sunday. McVay was asked yesterday about the Chicago defense, and let's just say he's got a good attention to detail.
You know, I think when you look at their front, Hicks is doing an excellent job. Obviously, Khalil Mack is an outstanding player, and they do move him around a little bit. You know, he's moved around where he's sometimes on the left, sometimes on the right. Leonard Floyd is a player that's gotten a lot better. You know, really, you just look at a couple years ago when I was in Washington, we played them, and you can just feel his growth and maturation. Aaron Lynch is always a guy that's made a lot of plays. And then when you look at their second level, you feel their speed. You know, you see why Roquan Smith's a top 10 pick. Got a great feel in coverage. He can blitz and finish. Trevathan's been doing it for a long time. And then on the back end, I think, you know, you see all those ball skills where guys are making picks. You know, you talk about, I want to say it's 21 interceptions they have as a defense. Kyle Fuller has 6 on his own. He's got great instincts. He can play with great vision on the quarterback, and he plays with great technique. Mukamura is a guy that you've always seen, just going back to when I was in Washington, when he was in the division with the Giants. He's a very good physical player. Bryce Callahan's gotten better at the nickel spot. And then when you look at Eddie Jackson, the instincts, the range, you know, he makes a lot of different plays, and Amos is a guy that's been doing it for a long time too. So great scheme. Coach Fangio does an excellent job.
All 11. Take a breath, McVay. Take a nap. Relax a little bit. Of course, that was awesome. Twitter went crazy, Shakes. Yeah. Are you as impressed with this as Twitter is?
It's amazing that he did it all in 1 minute, and he basically listed their entire defensive front. But knowing Sean McVay and talking football with him and the limited interactions we have during the season, but in the offseason, he can do that for all 32 teams. It's a sick quality. It's a sick brain, but it is one that comes in great handy because he knows them all. I will say this. Whenever he's done with coaching, whenever he's done and has his Lombardis, has his Coach of the Year awards and all the frame things, there is a spot for him at the breakfast table because that guy will be a stud on TV. He can do it. He knows every single player in the NFL, knows every single player's story, and loves the game. Yeah. So is that common? No. A lot of times a guy on the press conference will say 3 names and say, you know, the rest are maybe list a couple numbers. But that was impressive because it was done in 1 minute.
Do you have any doubt that 12 years from now, if he's still the head coach of the Rams somewhere else, that he will have that same passion and love for the game that is so obviously palpable right now?
That's the real deal.
I watched that clip. I'm like, you ever get the impression McVay likes talking ball? you think he likes football a little bit? Like that, there should be an SNL sketch about that, and it could be Colin Jost, and he could do and whatever, and it would be hilarious. That is so perfect. I'm sitting there smiling as I'm watching it because there has never been a guy I feel like. I also think there's this time right now, especially with the Packers thing, it's like, you got to go find a McVay. Like, I don't know if there are McVays out. There's young coaches, but I don't know if there are McVays. You know what I mean?
It's like a guy, you know, describing his ex-girlfriends, you know, in detail. But I would say this.
Like Lou Bega?
No, like DMX.
DMX. Okay. What these women want. Listen, that's a great song. But no, I would say this. Most coaches should be able to do that. They should be able to do that. I remember when I was a Minnesota Viking, Mike Tyson would come in and he would walk in the room and he'd say, "Hey, Nate Burleson, who's their starting left tackle?" Oh, yeah? You would have to know it. And I think coaches, they put that type of energy out there so players can follow suit. But yeah, most coaches in the NFL should be able to recall the team that they're playing. If they can't, then they should not be head coaches.
He just loves I wish somebody loved me like he loves football.
He loves that game.
That's like it's insane to me.
Loves the game.
How much he loves it. I think some people want to say, oh, he's just like flaunting the fact that he's so brilliant about this. He's not. He really is not trying to put on any sort of show.
It comes out naturally when you study him.
No, it's that he can't stop himself from doing it. It's like gushing about a girl you can't get enough of, or like that you're in love with. You can't stop. You're like, enough, but it's cute too.
I wonder if his significant other is ever like, enough with the football. I mean, come on. Can we talk about HGTV or something? No, man. We got to talk about the 3 deep, and I love it.
If you see this movie Blockers, stop. I'm not talking movies. I'm talking football.
All right, that little soundbite and this matchup brings us to one of our favorite segments here on the show. It's Thursday. It's the 3rd hour, and here is Throwdown Thursday. Awesome Week 14 matchup. So let's pit the best against the best, and let's stay with that Rams game, taking on the Bears in Chicago. I ask you, which unit has the edge, gentlemen? Rams offense, which has been amazing, or the Bears defense, equally amazing? Both top 5, in fact.
It's the Rams offense, no question, no doubt in my mind. The Rams offense one of the best in football. You can make an argument that they're the best in football. If you want to say the Saints, I'm not going to be mad at you. But it's what they bring to the table, anchored by Todd Gurley. I get it. You look at the other side of the ball, and Khalil Mack anchors that defense that is so special. And he's such a once-in-a-lifetime talent at linebacker and edge rusher. But they have once-in-a-lifetime talent in Gurley. They have Jared Goff playing at a different level. They have the wide receivers playing as exaggerated versions of themselves. And the offensive line that blocks so hard because they know if I hold on to my block just a split second longer, I'm going to get credit for a 70-yard run because our running back is that good. So I'm going with that Rams offense.
Hey, Jared Goff did not play well last week in Detroit. Played bad.
Yeah.
That was Jared Goff's worst game of the season. Might be one of the worst games since he's been the starter. Really bad game from Jared Goff. And Todd Gurley didn't really get going until the second half. They put up 30 points.
Right.
The Rams offense is a juggernaut. I'm going to go with McVay against any defensive coordinator in the league. I love Vic Fangio. I love Khalil Mack. I'm going with the Rams offense against any defense. I don't think anyone can stop them when McVay is turned to 11.
You know what Matt Nagy should do today? He should go there in Hallis Hall, and he should have a press conference. And he should be like, what about this Rams offense, though? And he just starts going. He's like, Todd Gurley and Jared Goff are great, but let me tell you about Pharoh Cooper. My mind immediately goes to the 2014 Independence Bowl. I believe it was against Miami. I think he had about 170 yards. Austin Blythe, that's an Iowa State high school wrestling champ right there. And then Malcolm Brown, he was the Rivals' #1 rated running back coming out of high school over guys like Jay Ajayi. Just show off you can do the same thing, Matt. Same exact thing. Anything you can do, I can do better. And I think the edge goes to the Bears defense, who are going to be at home, who are going to be in whatever elements they provide, and who are going to hit Jared Goff. I know Jared Goff didn't play well last week, still put up 30. He didn't play the Bears last week. He played the Lions. I think the Bears have the edge, and this is going to be a hell of a game.
You think it's Matt Nagy's coming out party?
I do.
Why
I think it's a national Matt Nagy
out
day.
McVay.
McVay's already McVayed to the McVay power. He did it in his first year. The wins at Dallas and the wins against the Seahawks were awesome. Those are his coming out party. I don't think Nagy's had it yet. He would have had it on Thanksgiving, but he didn't have his quarterback. He has all his horses Sunday. I think it's going to be Matt Nagy day.
Cowboys beat the Saints 13-10 last week. What does the Bears defense have to do to the Rams to beat them in their building this week?
They need a couple turnovers. They may even need a score. And I think they're capable of both. That's it. That's it, though. I think the Bears offense is going to put some points, too.
Moving on, it's the NFC East battle that could have some huge ripple effects in the playoff picture. Eagles taking on the Cowboys, Wentz taking on Dak Prescott. The question I need an answer to is, now, who is more likely to play in the Super Bowl first? Carson Wentz or Dak?
The Eagles haven't earned the right to get the answer that's them right now. The last time they played Dallas, they lost soundly in their own building. I look at Dallas. They beat the doors off of the Saints. As I've said it again, hundreds of games this year is the most impressive victory there is. They have a great defense. They have a great running back. They have a great line. And I cannot wait to watch this weekend. Nate got me fired up for Jason Kelsey against Leighton Vander Esch. The hungry dog versus the wolf killer. But as much as I respect Philly and Wentz, I think right now it's Dallas because Philly hasn't earned that right yet.
I got to go with Dak also. I think if we're talking about the next guy to do it, I mean, the Cowboys are in the conversation right now. The Eagles, until they beat Dallas, until they beat the Rams, until they beat the Texans, the Eagles aren't going to the Super Bowl. They need to get there. The Cowboys, they're winners of 4 or 5 straight games.
Yeah,
I think the next guy to do it right now, Dak's in line before Carson.
Yeah, they're a piece. The Cowboys are a piece or two away from a free agent signing or a draft pick that shows up big and being just a really dominant squad. They have a quarterback that's going to be their future. Ezekiel Elliott is amazing. That guy right there, Amari Cooper, has solidified himself as their #1 guy. On the defense side of the ball, they can rush the passer. And then their linebackers could be the best in the business. So just a couple pieces here and there, these guys can be a dominant team, not just one of the better teams and possibly a Super Bowl for the next 10 years. I'm saying like a guy or two away from being one of the best teams in football.
And quickly, one of the last ones, we got to pit the cities against each other, Shregs. Philly up against Dallas. We're talking 90s pop sensations representing the city of Philly. Boys to Men, obvi. Representing the city of Dallas is Vanilla Ice. Better early 90s pop act.
I loved the Iceman, loved him. One of the first cassette tape I ever bought. The first line of his song, collaborate and listen, Ice is back with a brand new invention, which doesn't rhyme in any way, and he's not back from anything. Like Eminem said, guess who's back? He was back from a huge album. I love Ice, but I'm going to go Boys to Men. Let me just put this out there. I was listening to Boys to Men the first time I hit a double, and let me tell you, this boy became a man.
Oh my God.
That was all I needed. Boys to Men, victory.
8th grade dance, Freehold, New Jersey. Ain't no Vanilla Ice involved. It was all boys to men all day long. I'm going with boys to men.
I love that boys to men. You can take their songs and you can apply it to anything in life. I'm looking at football over the last couple of years. You know, Kaepernick was on bended knee and it was the end of the road. And then Motown Philadelphia Eagles won a championship. Then after the season ended, we're sitting back thinking, it's so hard to say goodbye.
It was one sweet day.
Yeah.
And let me clarify. I used to listen to Boys to Men before my Little League games to get me fired up. So I would always hit well when I listened to them. That was it. What do you mean? Don't cut my mic. I'm doing gems right here.
Omar Ruiz is in Nashville.
Saving the show here.
Ahead of tonight's action in Nashville and on NFL Network, hours away from Titans Jags. Omar, I'll just go ahead and start and ask you, boys to men, or who is it?
Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice. And please keep it clean.
Ooh, that's a toss-up because obviously Vanilla Ice and Ice Ice Baby is one of the best of all time. Not to mention Turtle Power, but I got to go with Boys to Men on Bended Knee and the classics from our high school days are never forget.
Oh yeah.
Boys to Men gets the win on this one.
Yeah.
Great stuff from
I like that
Omar
on Bended
Ruiz.
Knee
Let's talk about these
reference,
Jags.
Nate.
Did you?
They're getting back
Keep it real.
a key piece in their offense tonight. Running back Leonard Fournette dealing with a one-game suspension. He served that. Now he's back. What is his presence going to mean for his squad and for the Titans D?
Well, Leonard Fournette obviously coming back from that one-game suspension. Not only is his presence back in the lineup going to be a factor, but the Titans are expecting to see a relatively fresh Leonard Fournette off that one-game break. Obviously didn't play against the Colts last week. He also didn't play when they faced each other in Week 3 down in Jacksonville, a Titans 9-6 win. Safety Kevin Byard told me that it's almost easier to game plan for the Jaguars when Leonard Fournette is in the lineup because they know they're going to give it to him as many times as possible. Jarrell Casey telling me that Fournette is a beast. Not only can he break tackles in the backfield, he's more dangerous as a runner because he can also infuse confidence in that offensive line because he does run so inspiringly. Now, that offensive line for the Jaguars has been banged up all year, so obviously not letting Fournette run wild will be a factor for this defense of the Titans. A street fight is how they've described it. The Jaguars have described it as a dog fight, so it should be one of those smash-mouth physical AFC South football games we've come to know over the years.
Omar, this is the elephant in the room as we stare at you in Nashville. You're in front of snow in Nashville, Tennessee. Cody Kessler's a Bakersfield, California legend. Mariota's from, obviously, Hawaii. It's supposed to be cold, but I didn't expect snow. Omar, give us a little weather update and how it's going to affect the game today.
What are you trying to say? Guys from out west are soft, Peter? Huh?
No, I didn't say that. My East Coast bias did not have anything to do with that question. Yeah.
I feel like I'm in Arendelle right now. You see this huge sheet of white behind me. It's actually a tarp. You see that little bubble there. They normally have heat running through to thaw the field. It's not running this morning, so we could see a little harder conditions. It's in the 20s right now. It snowed yesterday. There's still some ice. I wanted to build a snowman here for you guys, but it just won't pack. I showed you that water bottle last hour. A little more frozen over now. I was just on with Jim Cantori of the Weather Channel, so we had some fun with him and that water bottle, but it should be perfect tonight in the 40s. Perfect for December football. Obviously, Titans with much on the line, those playoff hopes still alive, and Jaguars playing for pride at this point, but you know they want to play spoiler against their division rivals tonight.
And they can do that with a run game in cold weather. Leonard Fournette back on the field, and we appreciate you, Omar Ruiz.
Great work, Omar.
All of your work, as always. We love having you on the show.
Guys.
Thursday night, the Titans playoff push is on against the Jags. It's Thursday Night Football tonight at 8 on NFL Network, on Fox, and streaming